Hello, in this video I'm going to be going through my 2023 Advent of Code Day 4 solution. So in this problem we have Scratchcards, and in our input we have card IDs, and then we have the numbers that are winning numbers, and then we have the numbers that we selected, I guess. And basically in this example, card 1 has 5 winning numbers, which are these, and it has 8 numbers that we have, and of those numbers 4 of them are winning numbers. So to calculate the number of points for each card, if there's one match then it's just 1 point, but for every extra match after that then we get double points. So 2 matches would be 1 times 2, which is 2. 3 matches would be 1 times 2 times 2, which is 4, and then so on. 4 matches is going to be 8 points, and this card, because it has 4 matches, is going to be worth 8 points. So we need to find out how many points are the cards worth in total. So I'm going to copy this input first and put it into Visual Studio Code and paste it in there, and then we're going to get started with parsing the data. So first what I'm going to say is let lines equals input dot split at \n. Now in our part 1 we can say let for each line first, for let line of data or of lines. We're going to go through each of the lines and iterate through them, but we also need a total. So we're going to let total equal 0. And now what we can say is let card ID data equal line dot split, and we're going to split at this colon here. Then we're going to say let winning string and pick string, so the ones that are winning numbers and the ones that we picked, be data.split at this bar here. Then we can say let winning numbers and let picked numbers. Then we can say let match, because we're going to be using regex here. And we don't need to set it to anything yet. We're going to say let pattern be a pattern to select all of the digits or sets of digits. And then what we can say is while match equals pattern dot execute winning string is not equal to null, we can push the number. There you go. Then we can do a similar thing for the picked numbers. There you go. So this has extracted all the numbers here and put them in an array, basically. Now what we can do is let count equal 0 for let winning number, winning num of winning numbers if picked number dot includes the winning number. Then we're going to increment the count. Finally, we can do total plus equals math.pal count -1, except there's the case where the count is 0, where this would mean that we're doing 2 to the power of -1, which is a half. It's not what we want, we just want it to be 0. So what I'm going to also add in here is count is not equal to 0, and if it is, then we're just going to have 0. Then we're going to return the total. If we run this, then we get 13 here. If we look here, we should get 13 points there. So now if we get our input and we put it back into our txt and run this now, we get 18619, and here we can see we should have got 18619, so that's correct. Now the second part, we don't deal with the points anymore. We're not interested in those. Instead, we still are interested in how many numbers we got that are matching. But for each matching number, we do that number plus the card ID, basically, for all of the cards in between, if that makes sense. So I'll explain it in this example. Card 1 has 4 matching numbers, so you win 1 copy of each of the next 4 cards. So you've already got 1, and you also win 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the same for all of them. So it goes through like recursion for all of these. And then your original card 2 has 2 matching numbers, so you win 1 copy of each of the cards of 3 and 4. Your copy of the card 2, which was from card 1, also wins 1 copy of the each of the cards 3 and 4. So how many scratch cards do we end up with? So we can go back in here. I'm going to copy a lot of the code from part 1 and put it into part 2. And then we're going to change a few things here. So we're going to take out this total here. We are interested in the card ID now. And we're also interested in this code here for how many numbers we got. But we're going to say instances here. We're going to have a dictionary of instances equal a dictionary or a object. And then we can say instances card ID dot replace card space, which should just give us the number, but we also need to trim it to make sure there's no white space that could throw off our calculations. And then in here, I'm going to say function card copy. So for we're going to call this for each copy of our cards to increment a counter total plus plus, and we're going to say const instances count equals instances input. For instances input, or what am I saying? If instances input, sorry, which is the same as instances count, is not equal to 0. Then for let I equals parse in input plus 1, sorry, I is less than or equal to parse int input plus instances count I plus plus, and then we can just call card copy again. Now once we've done that, we can say for let key of object.keys instances, then we're just going to say card copy key. So this is just calling initially the card copy function for all of our keys, and in here it's incremented the total for that specific card. We're going through the instances count, and if it's not equal to 0, then we're going to go through this loop, and for each of the extra matches that we get, we're going to call the card copy count function again using recursion. And then, okay, so that's all we need to do, I believe. So if we run this, we get 8063216, and if we look back here, we get 8063216. So that is the correct answer. That was my solution for day 4 of the Advent of Code 2023 challenges.